Hey guys, Brian Holder here, Brian Holder Graphic Design coming at you. Got a WYSIWYG Web Builder 9 tutorial, and I have a question from a user here named Dane Edwards, and he wants to know if I can do a in-depth master frame tutorial. And so I think what might actually be better than doing an in-depth master frame tutorial is why don't we do a tutorial about how to create a website from scratch. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk you through real quickly, as quick as I can. I don't know how long this is going to wind up being, but how I create the framework for a website. So we're not going to go through and spend a lot of time styling it and making it look pretty, but we will cover creating the master frame, the header. We'll create a menu bar, a sidebar, and a few different template layouts. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to flip on over to WYSIWYG Web Builder 9. That's what I'm using nowadays. In fact, I could probably remove this 8 icon. I've tested the hell out of all my other sites, so I know that just about everything that I've done in WYSIWYG Web Builder 8 works just fine in WYSIWYG Web Builder 9. So I feel a little bit more comfortable getting rid of this. Matter of fact, I'm going to unpin it now. See you. See you later, 8. Bye-bye. Catch you next time. Okay, so the first thing I always start off with is my best friend, the layer. And this is going to be the header. Sometimes I have 1, 2, maybe even 3 layers sometimes. So I think for this tutorial, why don't we go ahead and do 3 layers. And you know what? I'm getting ahead of myself. The first thing I need to do is open up my 960 grid. I'll use that for everything. And oh no, I forgot I did that. Okay. All right. Well, sneak peek. Here's a new theme. And I'm going to pause this video and reset this. So I'll be right back. Oops, I'm printing. God damn it. And bam! Okay, now we're back. So, I had to clean that up, fix my 960 grid, because I forgot I had saved in a hurry because my computer was shutting down on me. I had to save it real fast, so I overwrote the 960. So anyways, here we are back. I got a blank 960 grid. Forget about the site structure over here, because when I publish this, I'm going to publish this into something that doesn't actually exist. That way I don't accidentally kill my site. So I'm going to start off with an HTML document called master frame. And you can use HTML. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and switch this right off the bat to PHP, just because PHP is just, I don't have to remember to switch the extension to something else. It really doesn't matter what you use. PHP is pretty friendly. So now, going back to where I started the first time, first thing I need to do is go get my best friend here, the layer, and we're going to drag one of those out. And I'm going to do 3 layers, I think, on this one to show you how I cascade these layers. And so we're going to drag this out to 960 pixels wide. That's the width of the website I'm using. If you're using my 960 grid, then that's what you should be using too. The height, I don't want to be any more than maybe 35 pixels. And we're going to give this a dark background color. So I'll go 404040 is my hexadecimal value on the background color. I already have it preloaded, but if you don't, all you have to do is click on more colors, and then right here it says HTML, just type in 404040 hit enter. I don't want a border or radius or any of that. We don't need to worry about the shadows. So the next thing I'm going to do, click relative horizontal position, relative horizontal sizing, and the alignment, you want it to be aligned in the center, because everything else is going to be aligned in the center. Okay, and that's it. That will create a layer that, when previewed, stretches all the way across the screen, just like that. And it doesn't matter how big the monitor is, how big the browser is, it'll always just stretch across the screen no matter what. Alrighty, so let's go back in here. All I'm going to do is clone this layer, Control-C, Control-V, copy and paste. If you're on a Mac, then you're not using WYSIWYG Web Builder 9, so it doesn't matter. Now the height of this thing, I am going to change to, oh, I don't know, I try to keep them square. So I have 35, so I want something in a 5, so maybe 125 perhaps. Give us a total of, was it 160, I guess? And then style, let's change the color of this one. Maybe we'll go with a lighter gray. Okay. And we'll just do one more. So I already have it on the clipboard, so I'll just hit Control V to paste that one. And this one we're going to make 50 pixels tall. Okay, we'll change the color. Actually, let's leave that color in there. So now, when we go here and we preview, you'll see that we have all of our layers. They're all stretching all the way across the screen, so it's starting to come together a little bit. Okay. I'll tell you what. Let's paste one more while we still have it, and put it someplace. You don't need much room in between. This is going to wind up being the menu bar. This bottom one. This is going to be the header where the logo is. Maybe we'll put a phone number or some social media links or something over here on the right. Okay, and then this up top is going to be like a user menu type thing. So there'll be a link to maybe log in or a customer support link, possibly your phone number up here, whatever you want to do, something like that. This is going to be the footer. So we don't need much room between the footer and the menu bar, believe it or not. So what we do want to do is make the footer tall. So let's go with maybe 250 for now. Something like that. It's not too bad. Okay, so this is our master frame starting to come together. The first key thing we have to do is add in the content area. So under the Advanced tab, Content Placeholder, you want to grab this. The height does not matter. The width does not. The width does matter. You want to make that the full width, the full 960 width. Okay. So let's go in and take a look at the properties. This is how you want it set up, just the default here. Okay. Leave the background alone because that'll just keep it as transparent. How's that sound? Because you want it to be whatever the background is of your master frame. Leaving it white's fine too, because I usually use a white background. Okay, so now our overflow, you want it to expand. You don't want to scroll because that's going to make it look like an iframe. It looks like crap. Alignment, left is fine. Since we're aligning this the full width of the page, left is, you're going to align it all the way to the left side of this this right here, so that's fine. Let's see. Background, we don't have a background, so we don't worry about any of those options, and we definitely don't want a border. That's for sure. So the biggest thing is to make sure that this says expand, not scroll and not hidden. Okay. So next we're going to add a real quick logo, and we'll just do that by throwing some text in here. We'll call it logo. Pretty simple and basic. We're not going to spend an awful lot of time making things too pretty here. Okay. And now I'm actually going to make this menu bar a bit bigger. You want to go 60 pixels on that. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to want to do, I used to use menu bar here, but for whatever reason lately I've been really liking CSS menu. So that's what I've been using to build my menus out. I'll show you why I like it so much better here in a moment. So I'm going to dump this into that layer. Bring it up almost to the top. It doesn't have to be the top yet. We're going to play with that a little bit. I'm going to actually put it in the middle here. Give it 10 pixels of padding on each side. So let me line this up. Put it on that guide over here on the left. Line it up on that guide, and we'll stretch it out to this guide. Okay, so now we're just going to leave these the same. I always usually check this. It says use hover style to indicate the current page. And you can do that on the master frame. So we'll get into that a little bit once we finally get a couple pages built. We'll go back to this and I'll show you what that means. But go ahead and check it while you're in here. Okay, this is going to be a horizontal menu. You can choose to have the buttons aligned to the left, the center, or the right. I'm going to go center. Excuse me. Button size, you have two options. You have fixed or variable. Fixed means that the buttons are all the same exact size no matter how much text is in the middle. Variable means that they're going to be the size of whatever the text is. So if this text was longer, let's say this was a phrase, the button would be much longer. The width can change. The height you can set, which we're going to do. So what I want to do is set this to variable, and I want to set the height to 58 pixels. Remember, we had 60 pixels on our layer, so I want to make sure that this fits in the layer. So I'm going to give 1 pixel of a border, kind of almost, 1 pixel padding around it, so that way I know it's inside the layer. Okay, and so padding, I'm going to increase that a little bit, maybe to 10. No, I'm sorry. Oops, this is not the place for that. I want to do that under the text tab, not here. So forget that. Leave the padding at 0. Spacing is how much space you want between each item. You see how these are spaced out? I like that set at 0. Okay, so now in the main menu, there's no border. It's transparent, so you don't have to worry about any of that. I don't recommend a border around the menu. The color for the background, we're going to make it that 40. Okay, we want it to be the same as that background color we have. And then when you hover, I usually make that my theme color. So right now it's that blue. I've been liking the Dodger blue for some reason. I've been using that for all my themes. Okay, the border, I don't want a border around each item. I don't like that. I like it to be like this. But you can choose a border if you'd like. Images, I don't mess with. You can add images, I guess, for backgrounds. I don't. Shadow, I don't mess with shadow. And the only other thing we have here is the text. So I always change the text to white. Change this to white. So that way it's white no matter what. And then padding is how much space is on the left and the right side of the phrase. So default 5. I usually go high. I go like 20. Okay. So that gives you a little bit of room around each phrase, just like that. And then you can go through and style all of the same features for the submenu, the drop-down part. Okay. So this doesn't quite have the same functionality. I know when you use the menu bar option here, you can choose like some effects for the drop-down, whether it fades in or it slides or it just does whatever. But I prefer this one. Okay, so right now what I'm doing is, you see how I get this little lip right here, this little lip up here? That's that 1 pixel. So I'm trying to make sure that I'm lined up dead center of that layer, and I should be right now. Click that. When you click it, you'll see it flash blue, and that means you're in the layer. Just click it once. When it's not selected, of course. Okay. So now if I grab this layer and I drag the layer, you'll see that the menu bar goes with it. I know that I'm lined up perfectly. Okay, so now let's go preview this. There it is. And that's the master frame. Our master frame is basically done. Now what we're going to do, let's clone this puppy and rename this page to index, because that is what the home page is always called. And once we do that, we can delete everything. Don't need any of it. Okay. Now the next most important thing to do, we want to go through, hit page properties, go to miscellaneous, and you want to select that master frame. And if you're like me, then you're just going to continually keep cloning the index page here, which means that every time you clone this page, it'll automatically select that master frame as the frame. So now, just to test this out, let's go ahead and just throw like a shape in here. We'll throw a couple of shapes in here, just so you can see this loading into that master frame and how it's going to look like, and how it affects the, remember I said we were going to select expand in the content area, so you can see how that's going to affect it now. See that? Okay. So let's go ahead and get rid of those shapes for now. And now I'm going to show you how to add in a sidebar to this. So the next thing we want to do is clone index, rename it to sidebar. Okay, and the sidebar we want to be like, I don't know, How wide do you think we should make the sidebar? Remember, we have this padding here, so we're going to set it up so that it snaps to this edge. And we'll just bring it out to this edge over here. So 210 pixels wide plus the padding here. Height doesn't matter. So 210, so what we're going to do is drag this out to the edge. Now we're going to create a grid that's at 210. The padding is going to be built in on the left edge, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay. And then we can go ahead and delete that shape because we know that everything we have is between here and there. So we can actually, why don't we do this? This might be easier. Let me unlock all the guides. And let's go into the Format Ruler Guides, go to Vertical. I'm going to remove all for this page. I'm going to add one at 10. I'm going to add one at 20. I'm going to add one at 210. That's all I really need. I'm going to lock them all, hit OK, and that's where our sidebar is going to be. Okay. You should be locked, right? Okay. Oh, I didn't do it. Lock all guides, that way they don't move on us. Perfect. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to grab some text. And remember, the padding on the right side is built in, so we can go all the way up to the edge. So we're just going to call this a sidebar headline. And remember, we're not really styling this too much. Let's go down to something else. I guess that's fine. I wish there was a warm Ipsum button on this. We're just going to create a crappy paragraph. Okay. So, I still don't like that. I was going to change this to say headline. Sidebar, how about this? How about sidebar H3? Oops. Yeah, that's better. Okay, it's the designer in me, sorry. Perfect, okay, good enough. And we'll just copy and paste this a couple times just so we can get an idea of how big the sidebar is and what it may look like with content or links or whatever else in it. Throw one more in just for the height, I guess. Alright, good enough. So now, when we want to insert that sidebar into another page, I'm back on my index page here. To insert a sidebar onto that, all you're going to do is come down to where it says Master Objects. That's different. Okay, it's way different than a master frame, and it's different than a layer. Grab Master Objects. Okay, double click on it. It says Embed Master Objects as a layer. That's fine. That you want that selected. And then you're going to select the master object that you want to embed, and that's going to be your sidebar. So you select sidebar, hit OK, and you'll get the whole thing. You'll get to see the whole thing. Now remember, we're going to line this all the way up to this edge right there. Okay, so you see how that lines up? And now when we view our index page, you'll see there's our sidebar. Okay. And the cool thing with that is that now that you have one page with the sidebar, you can have 1,000 pages with this same sidebar, but to change them all you have to do is go and change this sidebar once. So to show you that, get rid of that paragraph in the middle. We'll throw an image in the middle here. So we'll throw her in there, scale her down to 10 wide, throw her in the middle. And now when we go and preview the index page, even on the preview page, you'll see there she is. In the builder, and there it is. So that's a real quick tutorial. Hopefully it helped you on how to create a master frame. And we added in a menu bar to that master frame. And we created a page, linked it to the master frame, and then added a sidebar to that page. And again, you can add this sidebar to any page you wanted. And it's not just sidebars. You can create a like, for instance, if you go to my website, bjholder.com/wwb, okay, that's where I put most of my videos for WYSIWYG Web Builder. You'll see that I have this little thing down here for all videos. Well, this is actually, believe it or not, a master object, okay, just like that sidebar. And I do that so that way, if I want to embed all of my videos on more pages than just this page, I only have to update them once. I don't have to go and update and add videos and links to every single page. And it's actually the same no matter which video you go and watch. You click on a video and it'll take you into another page, another landing page. I have this recent videos. I'm calling them widgets, but it's a recent video down here, and that's a master object as well. So that way, when I update in the WYSIWYG program what my most recent video is on this widget, it updates all of my pages. See that it's the same on every single page. See that? Alrighty, so I got a share. Cool. That's awesome. Alrighty, guys. So hopefully this tutorial helped you. And if you have any other questions for him, please leave them in the comments below. You can come to my website, click on this Contact Me button right here. Going over to my contact page, send me an email. I'll be happy to answer you. Or you can email me at brian.holder@soho.com. I'll get it that way too. And like this video, give it a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure to share it with your friends if you think they can find some use out of it. And I'll catch you guys on the next episode. Thanks.